Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back to the video on my Storytime channel. So I'm going to read Chapter 7 of Stargirl by Jerry Spinelli. I have the book right here, and I'm up to Chapter 7, page 30. Okay, let me start. A.H. Archibald Hapwood Brubaker lived in a house of bones. Jawbones, hip bones, femurs. There were bones in every room, every closet, on the back porch. Some people have stone cats on their roofs. On his roof, Archie Brubaker had a skeleton of Monroe, his diseased Siamese. Take a seat in his bathroom. You will find yourself facing the faintly smirking skull of Doris, a prehistoric creodent. Open the kitchen cabinet where the peanut butter was kept, and you were face to face with an extinct fox. Archie was not morbid. He was a paleontologist. The bones were from digs he had done throughout the American West. Many were rightly his, found in his spare time. Others he collected from museums but slipped into his own pocket or knapsack instead. Better to sit in my refrigerator than disappear in a drawer in some museum basement, he would say. When he wasn't digging up bones, Archie Brubaker was teaching at universities in the East. He retired at the age of 65. When he was 66, his wife, Ada May, died. At 67, he moved himself and his bones west to join the other fossils. He chose his home for two reasons. One is proximity to the high school. He wanted to be near kids. He had none of his own. And two, Senor Cigarro. Senor Cigarro was a cactus, a 30-foot tall giant that towered over the tool shed in the backyard. It had two arms high on the trunk. One struck straight out. The other made a right turn upward, as if waving adios. The waving arm was green from the elbow up. All else was brown, dead. Much of the thick, leathery skin along the trunk had come loose and crumpled in a heap about the massive foot. Senor Cigarro had lost his pants. Only his ribs, thumb-thick vertical timbers, held him up. Elf owls nested in his chest. The old professor often talked to Senor Cigarro and to us. He was not certified to teach in Arizona, but that did not stop him. Every Saturday morning his house became a school. 4th graders, 12th graders, all were welcome. No tests, no grades, no attendance record. Just the best school most of us have ever gone to. He covered everything from toothpaste to tapeworms and somehow made it all fit together. He called this loyal order of the stone bone. He gave us homemade necklaces. The pendant was a small fossil bone strung on rawhide. Years before he had told his first class, "Call me Archie." He never had to say it again. After dinner that day, Kevin and I walked over to Archie's. Though the official class convened on Saturday morning, kids are welcome any time. My school, he said, is everywhere and is always in session. We found him, as usual, on the back porch, rocking and reading. The porch, bathed in the red gold light of sunset, faced the Maricopas. Archie's white hair seemed to give off a light of its own. The moment he saw us, he put down his book. "Students, welcome." "Archie," we said, then turned to greet the great cactus as visitors were expected to do. "Senor Cigarro," we saluted. We sat on rockers. The porch was full of them. "So many," he said. "Business or pleasure?" "Bafflement," I said. "There's a new girl in school." He laughed. "Stargirl?" Kevin's eyes popped. "You know her?" "Know her," he said. He picked up his pipe and loaded with cherry sweet tobacco. He always did this when settling in for a long lecture or conversation. "Good question." He lit the pipe. "Let's say she had been on the porch. She's been on the porch here quite a few times." White smoke puffed like Apache signals from the corner of his mouth. "I was wondering when you'd start asking questions." He chuckled to himself. "Bafflement, good word. She is different, isn't she?" Kevin and I burst into laughter and nods. At that moment, I realized how much I had been craving Archie's confirmation. Kevin exclaimed, like another species. Like another species. Archie cocked his head as if he had just caught the sound of a rare bird. The pipe stem anchored a wry grin. A sweet scent filled the air about our rocking chairs. He stared at Kevin. "On the contrary, she is one of us. Most decidedly, she is us more than we are us. She is, I think, who we really are, or were." Archie talked that way sometimes in riddles. We didn't always know what he was saying, but our ears didn't much care. We just wanted to hear more. As the sun dipped below the mountains, it fired a final dart at Archie's flashing eyebrows. "She's homeschooled, you know. Her mother brought her to me. I guess she wanted a break from playing teacher. 1 day a week. 4, 5... Yes, 5 years now." Kevin pointed. "You created her." Archie smiled, puffed. "No, that was done long before me. Some people are saying she's some kind of an alien sent down here from Alpha Centauri or something," said Kevin. He chuckled, but not too convincingly. He half believed it. Archie's pipe had gone out. He relit it. "She's anything but. She's an earthling if there ever was one. So it's not just an act," said Kevin. "An act? No, if anybody's acting, it's us. She's as real as us. She's as real as... He looked around. He picked up the tiny, wedge-like skull of Barney, a 60-million-year-old Palestinian rodent, and held it up. As real as Barney. I have a little jolt of pride at having reached this conclusion myself. But the name, said Kevin, leaning forward. Is it real? The name? Archie shrugged. Every name is real. That's the name of nature of names. When she first showed up, she called herself Pocket Mouse. Then Mud Pie. Then what? Gully, I believe. Now Stargirl. The word came out whispery. My throat was dry. Archie looked at me. Whatever strikes her fancy. Maybe that's how names ought to be, huh? Why we stuck with just one your whole life? What about your parents, said Kevin. What about them? What do they think? Archie shrugged. I guess they are. Guess they agree. What do they do? Kevin said. Breathe, eat, clip their toenails. Kevin laughed. You know what I mean. Where do they work? Mrs. Carraway, until a few months ago, was Stargirl's teacher. I understand she also makes costumes for movies. Kevin poked me. The crazy clothes. Her father Charles works. He smiled at us. Where else? Mechatronics, we said in chorus. I said it with wonder, for I'd imagined something more exotic. Kevin said, so where is she from? Natural question is in a city as young as Mika. Nearly everybody had been born somewhere else. Archie's eyebrows went up. Good question. He took a long pull on the pipe. Some would say Minnesota, but in her case he let it smoke, his face disappearing in a gray cloud. A sweet haze veiled the sunset, cherries roasting in the Maricopas. He whispered, Rara Avis. Archie, said Kevin, you're not making a lot of sense. Archie laughed. Do I ever? Kevin jumped up. I want to put her on hot seat. Dorko Borlock here doesn't want to. Archie studied me as though the smoke. I thought I saw approval, but when he spoke, he merely said, work it out, men. We talked until dark. We said adios to Senior Cigarro. On our way out, Archie said more to me than to Kevin. I thought you'll know her more by her questions than by her answers. Keep looking at her long enough. One day you might see someone you know. Okay, so that's chapter 7 of Stargirl, and take care, everybody. Another video from my Storytime channel.